All righty, sports fans, welcome on in. It is the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 792.1 FM. Proud to be a part of Utah's ESPN radio network. Oh, we have a great show for you today. It is Friday. It is Fun Friday. It's Fantastic Friday. It's Football Friday. Actually, football happens every day of the week. The only day off of football is Tuesday. It's the Sabbath day of football. There are no football games on Tuesday, but Friday it is exciting. We had an NFL game last night that was, it was really boring. And I want to talk about that today a little bit, the boringness of football. And I think there are actually some people, the ones that are sick in their head, that actually like boring football. Anyways, a great show. Listen, don't panic if you miss part of the show. It's really okay. We have a thing called technology, and use technology. It's your friend. So go to ESPN 700 Sports app, ESPN700sports.com, and you can get us wherever you are. So if you're anywhere except the moon, all right, we haven't quite got on the moon yet. We're close. But so don't panic. Don't feel bad because you don't want to miss anything we say. Now, of course, our beloved Utes are on holiday this time of year. They'll be back next week, but there's a big game in Texas. Texas Tech and BYU, they're going to happen tomorrow. I might talk about that. Of course, we have our NFL picks. I'm 46-11 on the season. We're going to go through some of those picks today. So buckle up, sit back, relax, and let's have some fun here today. Okay, Antonio Brown. We all know who Antonio Brown is. Apparently, Antonio Brown tried to murder someone. It's alleged. I'm not saying that it actually happened. It's alleged. He was over in Dubai, of all places. Can't say I've ever been to Dubai. Martin, have you been to Dubai?
I have not. I haven't left the continent that much.
You haven't left the Have you left? Have you left the country? Have you gone out of the United States in
Yes, I
your
have.
lifetime?
I've been to Mexico, Mexico. So I've been
Oh,
there
okay,
one time, but that's the only time I've ever left the country. That's the only time.
got it. Anyway, so no Dubai for you.
No, no Dubai for me, not at all.
Anyways, Antonio Brown was over in Dubai for some reason. I'd actually like to find out because Antonio Brown is fascinating to me. Apparently, allegedly, Antonio Brown is being charged with attempted murder. So he was at a boxing match in Florida and has been extradited to the United States to, I guess, face charges. I assume, allegedly, he grabbed a gun from a security guard and fired it at someone, 2 shots, and I guess grazed someone. And it brings up in my mind, like, how do you go? This guy is like beyond talented. This guy was so unbelievably good. And I'm trying to figure out in my mind how a person just goes from this incredible player to being faced with murder charges. And it's not the first time this has happened in sports. It's not going to be the last time it happened in sports. Of course, recently we had these issues with players who um, got into gambling, and maybe it's just that people are human beings, and maybe they can't get over what an incredible opportunity is to be a professional athlete and to have this. I mean, most professional athletes come from relatively humble beginnings, and I think a decent number of them kind of get over that, but a lot of them don't, and a lot of them return to whatever that is. Sadly, we had a player yesterday who decided to end his life. I mean, he's right in the middle of his playing career, and he decides, it's just not it's not enough. And so I wonder, and I know as a former professional athlete, like it's a hard thing to handle the pressure of playing, and there's an expectation, and there's this sense that you have, like, I don't know, you have like uh, a different standard of rules. You're a role model. You're this person that I think people look up to, and I think it's a really challenging thing to deal with. I had a conversation with Gordy Chiesa yesterday, former Jazz coach. Of I was filling in for Sean O'Connell, and Gordy Chiesa was talking about how he didn't sleep at night after games, and Carl Malone was also a guy who never slept. So Gordy Chiesa and Carl Malone are on an airplane, and Carl would like walk up and down the aisles to find out who was awake at 3 in the morning because he couldn't sleep. And he found Gordy. And so Gordy says, we had some of the most amazing conversations at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I think about all of the times that, I played and how it was so hard after a game. It was hard to like unwind. It was hard to sleep. It was hard to do anything because I was just like I took it so hard. And losing a game like it was just because in the NFL it's like every game matters so much, and you want to do well. And so having a game or just having to deal with that on a regular basis is a really difficult thing. Now, at the end of Sean's show, the Sean O'Connell show, James Peterson brought up a comment. And he says, I saw this thing on social media, and they were talking about the teams, the NFL teams, and they said, "Who's your least favorite quarterback, and who's the one you don't? Who do you think was the worst quarterback?" And he goes, "I was surprised that there was a decent number of people from Detroit and Baltimore that thought you were Scott. That and so there are constantly critics, and they're I used to get booed in introductions before a game. And so you have all these people and and they're ruthless, and you're human, right? And you go, it doesn't bother me. I don't really care about it. And it does bother you. Like it gets to you after a while. And I don't think people realize the human side of athletes. And so I see a story like Antonio Brown, and I look, man, this guy was like, he was unbelievably talented. One of the best players, I think, in I mean, he could have been like one of the best of all time. And there was just something, the pressure of everything, the expectation, the something going on in his life just made it brutally hard. And I'm telling you, we all go, oh, well, it'd be great to be these athletes and all this stuff. But there's a side of it that is really hard, and there's a pressure to it, and there's an expectation to it, and there is a challenge. And if there's a part of your life, whether it's mentally, emotionally, personally, your personal life, if that's not in order, I'm telling you, it can really rip you apart, and you don't know who who is having the challenge and who isn't. And this is no different than society at all, right? Because but I think we think of our athletes as, well, you're immune to this stuff. Like you can't make a mistake, you can't do anything wrong. And then there's a side of society that says, "Oh, yeah, we like when you do something wrong. And we can't wait to tear you down, and we can't wait to say, "Ah, yeah, I'm glad he's suffering. I'm glad he's hurting." And so you go through this whole thing, and then there's this vicious cycle, and then they want redemption. They want the comeback story. They want the Michael Vick. They want him to feel good coming back, or Michael Irvin had all these issues and problems, and it's I don't know. It just, I see these stories, and it fascinates me how there's this human side of sports, and the humanness of it that I don't think people really understand or get. Or and I don't know that, I sit here and I'm talking about this, and I'm wondering how many people are out there going, I don't really care. I don't feel empathy for you. I don't, because you have supposedly everything. And so but I'm just telling you, athletes are human too. Don't forget that. All right. Okay. Moving on. Our next hot headline of the day is so Matt Rule, who's the head coach at Nebraska, he's come out and he's begging for, or pleading the case for, all of the Big Ten schools that have two losses. and who are not inside the college football playoff at this point. And he said, I just really think that we're being overlooked. And and it's true. It actually is true, which kind of makes me happy. I'm not going to lie, because I am a big proponent of. I think most of the conferences have two or three really good teams. And then I think you could take all of the rest of the teams and all the rest of the conferences, and I think you could just interchange them in any conference. I don't think the talent is that deep in one conference that they own it from top to bottom. I think there are conferences like the Big 12 where the Big 12 has a lot of good teams. They don't have a great team, but they have so you could say maybe for the first 8 teams are pretty darn good, and they could match up with most of the lower, I want to say lower, but middle to lower part of these other conferences. And so I find it fascinating that and happy that they've actually recognized the Big 12, and now the Big 10 is complaining that their programs should be recognized. And I'm just wondering if maybe they have a point. So you have Iowa, who has 2 losses. Now Iowa, one of those 2 losses came to Iowa State, who is in the Big 12. And Iowa State fell off a cliff. And Iowa State, I mean, everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be Iowa State at the end of the year. Iowa State is just one of these teams that's just amazing." And Iowa State is nowhere to be found. Iowa State is gone, and it's shocking to me, but they're gone anyway. So you have Iowa, you have Michigan. Like, isn't it funny that no one talks about Michigan right now? I mean, this is Michigan. Like, this is the big house. This is as close as you get to great football, and we're at a time, and I don't know if it's because of Harbaugh, I don't know if it's because of sanctions, I don't know what it is, but like no one's talking about Michigan. Michigan's not even talking about Michigan. Michigan's not even sitting here going, "What about us? We're being left out." And no, they're not. And it's fascinating. I mean, I wonder if Michigan called Nebraska and said, "Look, would you please talk for us? Because we can't right now, because no one respects us. No one." And Harbaugh's gone, right? If Harbaugh was here, yeah, we're in the conversation. But it was shocking to me how Michigan, and of course Nebraska is also one of those schools that's left out. And then here's another one. This just sounds funny to me. So another 2-loss school. So this is Nebraska, by the way, who no one in the Big Ten even cares about, right? They don't care about no one in the Big Ten cares about Nebraska. And Nebraska is actually politicking for the Big Ten, which is insane. And they're politicking for USC. And shockingly, USC only has 2 losses on the year. And here are these so-called programs. Here are these so-called, like, USC is going to go to the Big Ten because it's such an amazing opportunity, and they have to have Nebraska beg and plead for them to even be considered as a 2-loss team for the playoffs. I find that it just absolutely comical, humorous, and I love it. And I love, because let's face it, I am a USC. I don't want to use the word hater, okay? Because I got away from hate. I decided highly dislike. Uh, and so I don't know. I just find it so fun to say, yeah, nobody's talking about the Big Ten at all. And the other team, or the other conference that's just, oh, is the ACC. Like, is it really a conference? I mean, is it really, like, I look at all these teams in the ACC, and like, look at Bill Belichick. He's been just an absolute disaster. And I'll tell you, because it's the next story I'm going to get to. And I don't care what conference you're in. I don't care what program you're in. I don't care what coach you are. If you put your money in the right place, you can have a really good football team in college football. If you get it right. And I think there's a difference between just paying the money and actually doing it right. I'm gonna get into that in just a minute, but I want to get into these two lost teams. Okay, so now there are several two lost teams in the Big 12. There's Arizona State. I just I find it fascinating that it's not only like when you lose, or maybe how you lose, or who you lose to. Like Utah has two really hard losses this year, and both of the teams are now 7-8 in the college football poll. And so those losses, because Texas Tech was way back in the beginning of the year, it's almost like it's forgotten. And I find it so fascinating how Utah is like actually being respected. Like it's amazing to me that how this is all dumped on its ear, because there's no way in the world with the power of the Big Ten that they should really have these afterthought two lost teams. Like it is like the Big Ten is Ohio State. That's it. And they go, Penn State's a disaster. Michigan lost Harbaugh, and the only other hope we have is Indiana. Like, where did Indiana come from? Like I was shocked they actually had a football team. And so that's the best you now. I love what Indiana is doing, and I'm not mocking them at all, but they are not the traditional power of the Big Ten in football. And so that's kind of where things have turned at this point. It's absolutely uh just shocking to me that this has actually happened. So so in the Big 12 you have Utah, you have Arizona State, you have Houston, you have Texas Christian, TCU, and of course nobody's talking about now Cincinnati's still a one-loss team in like they're still a one-loss team in the well, they have two losses on the season, but in conference. So they are a two-loss team. So Cincinnati is the other team. And then we get to the ACC. And really you have Georgia Tech, you have Miami. Those are the two lost teams. The only team with one loss is Virginia, and no one wants Virginia to even win the ACC. Like they go, it's almost like we'll just look, if Virginia wins our conference, we forfeit everything. We don't even get a team in the playoffs. It's like that. That's how unrespected and just underwhelming the ACC is. And then Clemson. Clemson reminds me of when I lived in Detroit, Michigan. So so I lived in Michigan. I played football there, and for whatever reason, they couldn't get out of like the 1970s. Like all the buildings, everything, like they couldn't modernize anything. They couldn't get up with the times. And they were just stuck in an era and they just weren't going to get out. A little bit like the Miami Dolphins were stuck in 1972 in the 1990s. Like everyone talked about the 1972 Miami Dolphins. It's like, that and they still do. I mean, they still celebrate every time someone loses, but Dabu Sweeney cannot get out of it. Is an NIL, it is a portal deal, and if you don't play by those rules, you will not survive in college football. And if you don't like it, then you really need to get out of it, because that's what it is. This is college football is professional football now. And so the point is there's really nobody in the ACC. And I always made the point. I said Brett Yormark should go out and at whatever cost go get Florida State, go get Miami, go get Clemson, and bring them into the Big 12, and give them a sweetheart deal, because you could make this incredible conference and make the Big 12 as viable and as impactful and have the same voice as the SEC and the Big 10. And at this point, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't I like I am just shocked at a school like Miami. And I'm shocked how they can't seem to capture that old magic. I mean, this is a school, this is a place, this is the place. Have we ever heard that before here? Yeah, a few years ago. Anyways, Miami was the place, and they just can't find that groove. And you have a guy, Mario Cristobal, who's understands that culture and understands that whole thing. But that thing is also gone. Like there's guys don't go to school because oh yeah, it's tradition. In fact, I'll tell you, I think there might be, and this might actually help locally. There might be one or two schools, maybe there's a few more in the country that a player says, I'm going to go here because my parents went here, because I've wanted to go to this school for my whole entire life. I was listening to this thing about Joe Burrow and how his whole thing was, I'm just going to go to Cincinnati. It's where I want. I'm from there. I live there. My girlfriend is there, and how they convinced him not to go and to actually go to LSU. But I think there's very few places in the country, and I think Utah is one of them. I think BYU is one of them, where these kids, because they go, I'm part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints, and I'm going to go there over money. And I hear a lot of players going, it's really about getting yourself to the NFL. And today it's not. It's like it's really getting yourself to show me the money. Where is the money, right? And so I think it's if you're caught up in what traditional college football is, and I think it might be the case with all of these schools, because you have the Big Ten, who has no juice this year in college football playoffs. You have the SEC, who goes, you know, you're talking about Texas A&M. Like Texas A&M is like, where is a traditional team? Where is LSU? Where is Alabama? Where's Georgia? Where's Florida? Where's Tennessee? You're talking about the best team in your conference right now is Texas A&M. And it's all I think these conferences are freaking out. I think they can't put their thumbprint on this. They can't figure this out. And really what it is it's just really simple. These players are going where the money is. They're going where the money is. So that's where we all should go, is where the money is. Um, okay. I want to get, I'm not going to get into it right now. Because I really want to talk about how you got a guy like Coach Prime, and you got a guy like Bill Belichick, and you've got places like Miami or some other schools who are just throwing all kinds of resources. They're throwing all this stuff, and for whatever reason, they can't seem to still
Aaron
win.
from RJS Exteriors Online.
And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, because it's not just about, well, if you have money, they will come and they'll be good. I don't think that's the case. And I think someone's figured it out. Someone's kind of dialed into this. We're going to talk about it in the next segment. But I got to talk to my good friends at RGS Exteriors. Of course, Aaron joins the show right now because we love having you guys, and you love being here. Isn't that right, Aaron? You love being here. How are you today, by the way?
Thanks for having us, Scott.
Okay. RGS Exteriors, you guys basically showed up with the pioneers. You've been in business for 5 decades. It's incredible that the longevity that you guys have, and why is that so important?
Oh, it's something we're really proud of, because there's usually in the construction world a lot of turnover. Companies come and go very regularly here in the state, and the fact that we've been around for 5 generations, allows us to give the homeowners peace of mind and knowing that we're going to be here for the long haul for their project. So if they ever have any issues or any problems down the road, we're still going to be here. We're still going to answer the phone, and we're still going to show up and take care of their house.
You guys have won multiple Best of State awards. Just recently, you won 4 more awards this last year, which is a total of 21. You also this year were awarded the 2025 Guildmaster with Distinction Award. Why is that so important?
Yeah, so that just gives homeowners, peace of mind knowing that they're picking a contractor that's doing things the right way. That Guildmaster Award one is one that we're really proud of because that is surveys that are getting sent out to homeowners directly from Guild Quality, asking how we did. So they get a very transparent look and answer of how we operate as a company. So that one we're pretty proud of.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, and you think about people, it's like they've been around a long time, so they're not hiding from you. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be around, and people out, look, I know you guys love your company, but it's the folks out there who love your company. You guys have had these tremendous reviews and ratings, and people love you guys. Of course, you're known for actually gutters, but also siding and so much more. Tell me a little bit about the products you offer that you put on the exterior of people's homes.
So yeah, rain gutters, soffit, fascia, everything along that roof edge. Siding wise, we specialize in James Hardie fiber cement siding. Windows, we do in nice fiberglass Infinity by Marvin windows. We can even handle a deck on the outside exterior of a home, makes a really nice outdoor living space for you. So yeah, pretty much anything on the outside, we can get out there and get it taken care of for you.
The most important and biggest investment most people have is their home. And in today's economy, people aren't selling their homes because they have such great interest rates. So it's a great opportunity to continue to preserve and protect the value of your home by putting quality products on the exterior. And not only that, but you guys have this incredible warranty. It's a 10-year warranty that's very unique.
Yeah, so we do a 10-year warranty on anything we put up, whether that's rain gutters, windows, siding. We're going to stand behind our work and our craftsmanship for 10 years. So if at any point you have any issues, we're going to be out there to get you taken care of. We like to look at it as you're investing into your home. You're investing going to get a return because your home's going to increase in value. And these are things that you can do to preserve that value for a long time.
All right, and you guys have great deals right now. If folks call up and get an estimate, what kind of promos you got?
Yeah, so right now we're doing a free Minky blanket with every estimate. We've also got some 0% financing options. We can really help
Oh,
you get projects done now and avoid any price increases that are going to come next year. So it's a really great time of year to get on the schedule and avoid any of those increases.
all right, folks, make sure you go give RGS Exteriors a call. Take care of that investment. Go to the people who are going to be around that give you quality and excellence in everything they do. Call 801-280-3110 or go to rgsexteriors.com or utahgutter.com. Again, RGS Exteriors, 801-280-3110. Thanks, Aaron. Have a great day and a great weekend.
You too. Thanks, Scott.
All right, we're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk about we have our NFL picks, and it's kind of a fun thing that we do because that's coming up around the corner. Of course, this is Fantastic Friday. You don't want to miss it. It's the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 700 92.1 FM. Hey, welcome back to the show. And thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you tuning into the show. It means a lot to me. Of course, this is the Down and Dirty. I'm Scott Mitchell. We're going to get downer and dirtier here on the show right now. So I hope you're prepared for it. I hope you dressed appropriately for what we are doing today. Well, you know what we're doing today. We are going to go over our NFL picks. Okay. I'm 46-11 on the year. And there have been a couple of teams that kind of hosed me. I was not happy about that. It was like, what were you thinking doing that kind of craziness and blowing my picks for the week? But I would think that's pretty decent. And by the way, I don't do very much research on this. It's all just gut and instinct is all it is. That's this show, gut and instinct. It's just one thing I do want to suggest or mention, if you're interested, the final segment of the show, if you have a question, if there's something you want to talk about, text in, a question you want to ask me, something that's been bugging you, something that's, so text in 877-353-0700, and you can and we'll chat about your topics in the final segment. So 877-353-0700, text it in and blow up the text line today. Okay, we're going to do our picks right now for the NFL weekend. I picked Denver, by the way. I think did Martin, did I clarify that before? And if I didn't, I want to be fair, but I believe I did.
Yes, you did. 100%.
Okay. Yeah. And they pulled out a barn burner on me. Oh man, I wish I had about 4 hours today. I have so much I want to talk about because I want to talk about. I'd be curious. Let's do a poll. No, we don't want to confuse the people because they have them texting in questions. Would you rather? But I'll just throw it out there and let you ponder upon this. Would you rather watch a defensive struggle or an offensive just blowout? And maybe like a more up-tempo scoring, or do you like those 10-7 games that you saw last Thursday night? Or would you rather see 24-31 or something like that kind of
Oh,
thing?
you got to go bigger than that, Scott. You don't remember
I'm sorry.
The 53-47 Kansas City and LA Rams Monday Night Football game? That was a barn burner.
And would you rather see that? Very good point, Martin. What was it? 57-34,
Like
40 something?
53-47. It was just touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. The defenses were still on the bus. They were sleeping. They didn't want to come out of the locker rooms.
The only score I ever remember was 57-28. That's the only score I ever remember from anything. That was, of course, 1988 when Utah beat BYU 57-28. I don't know why I remember that.
Wow.
But I just do. So in 1988, how old were you, Martin?
My dad wasn't even thinking about a family then. I was not.
So
born.
you were negative how many years old in 1988?
I was -8 because I wasn't born until 96.
Okay, -8. Yeah, happy -8-year-old birthday, by the way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, you're old now.
Almost 30, man. I'm on the other side of the coin now.
So when we're born, is that our first birthday? So like the day you're born, is that like so really we're all a year older than we think we are? Or are we just
no,
I don't know. I'm just
no.
Is it actually 0 when you're born?
Yeah, it's 0.
I'm 0. So that whole first year they're like, how old are you? It's like I'm 0.
Yeah, you're like 6 months, 12 months, and then you reach the first birthday.
At what point? So you're 0 your first year.
Yeah.
No one asks you that though. I mean, you can't answer.
No. I mean, unless you're like Albert Einstein, probably knew he could speak at 2 months.
Yeah, I'm 4.5 months old. All right, let's get to our picks. And I'm not gonna pontificate too much on the picks, but I will go into some detail. So the Atlanta Falcons are at the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, by the way, I'm already 1-0 on the game. Now okay, here's what we're gonna do, Martin. I'm gonna Venmo you $200. Okay, Do you have Venmo?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm going to Venmo you $200, and because you're the degenerate gambler, you're going to take my picks, and we're going to just see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to give you $200, and you go but you got to do my picks,
Okay.
and then next week we'll see how we do.
All right.
All right, does that work?
Yeah, it works for me.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to go Indy on this game. New York at Chicago. Ooh. I think New York is kind of, the excitement of Jackson Dart has worn off, and he's now realizes that he's a rookie. Oh man, this is one of those games. I know you want me to pick Chicago, Martin, which I'm going to do. I'm not sure why I'm doing that, but I'm going to pick Chicago. I'm going to hate myself for doing it later. Okay, Buffalo at Miami. Miami kind of surprised me. See, Miami kind of hurt me when they went and beat Atlanta in Atlanta. Like, who does that? I'm gonna say Buffalo. Come on. Are you kidding? Buffalo is gonna go almost to the Super Bowl. All right, Baltimore is at Minnesota. This could be. Oh, by the way, Indianapolis and Atlanta are in another country. Those are hard to pick, by the way, when they go to another country, because there's just factors that you can't. Oh, they're in the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. I played an NFL football game in the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, and it was actually really cool. It was a preseason game with the Miami Dolphins, and we were there all week, and so we practiced against we played the Denver Broncos, and we actually practiced against them all week long in what used to be Hitler's parade grounds. They're massive. They'd have 500,000 troops on these fields, and our little football fields just took up a small corner. And then we actually played in them. It was a very cool experience. So, not to digress, but I digressed. Baltimore. It's because I don't want to pick Baltimore and Minnesota. I'm trying to avoid it. See, Baltimore to me is like, they're a scary team. Lamar Jackson's back. I'm going to go with Baltimore. Whew, I can't believe I did that. I think here's what happens when you're like a young quarterback. So JJ McCarthy like wins in Detroit. That was a big win, by the way. And you just aren't consistent because you get overhyped. So he's all pumped up. Yeah, we beat the Lions in Detroit, which gets people hyped up all the time. And now he's like, he'll get complacent. That's my whole reasoning why Baltimore's going to win this game. Cleveland at New York. Wow. I don't think anyone's going to win this game. I think they're going to go, yeah, we got to forfeit this game for lack of think about the Jets. The Jets got rid of everybody. The quarterback's not playing well. They did win a game. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Cleveland. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I am. I mean, Cleveland gave up their two best defensive players. I'm not Cleveland, but the Jets. Ooh, see those are the tough picks. That's all right. New England is at Tampa Bay. New England is leading the AFC East. Tampa Bay, of course, is leading in the NFC South. This is a great game, which I would have never thought this was going to be a great game. Even Cleveland, New York's a great game because it's so bad, right? It's like you want to tune in just because I want to tune in, actually. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. New Orleans at Carolina. Why? I don't know. Jacksonville at Houston. Ooh. See, this is another tough one because Jacksonville looked like they were kind of pretty good. Houston looked like they were a disaster. Now it's kind of flipped a little bit. Jacksonville won a big game on a kick. You know what? I'm going to Houston, and the reason is it's the travel, right? Jacksonville went to the Raiders, right? They did that. I'm looking off into space. No, nobody knows this. I can't believe you people don't know this. By the way, I have an audience today. I have 5 people in the studio today, and they're all looking at me, and they have to be quiet right? So they can't say, I mean, they could say something. And I wonder what they would actually say if they could say something, but they're just looking at me like, what are you talking about? You're making no sense whatsoever. Anyways, it's kind of fun. It's a normal day. I make no sense any day. Okay. I'm going to go with Houston for the travel aspect. It's an important part of things. Arizona's at Seattle. Ooh, I'm going to go. Let's see. Seattle play. Where did Seattle play? Were they?
Seattle, we're in
Where was?
Washington.
No, I know they're in Washington. Oh no, they were at Washington. Oh no, they're home. Arizona was at Dallas. I'm gonna go Seattle. The Rams at the 49ers. Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna go the Rams. I'm heavy on the Rams right now. Detroit's at Washington. I'm gonna go Detroit. Washington is a hot mess that got even hotter with Jaden Daniels losing. Pittsburgh is at Los Angeles. Ooh, I'm going to go with the Chargers just because I picked them to be in the Super Bowl. That's the only reason I have to stick with my team. And then Philadelphia is at Green Bay on Monday. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go with Green Bay. There's my picks. Those are my picks, and I'm sticking with them. All right. Let's take a break. And we come back. Hopefully there's some questions from people. If they're not, I know I have a lot to talk about. I have a ton to talk about when we return. This is the Down and Dirty. And I hope you got dirtier and downer on that segment because we're going to go to the lowest possible denominator in this last segment. We're here on ESPN 792.1 FM.
No, not really. Not today. No text messages. So, all right, 10-4. Yep, and then ended on Weight Vision. You got it.
Hey, sports fans, welcome back. I'm Scott Mitchell. This is the Down and Dirty here on ESPN 792.1 FM. We know it's Friday. We know it's Fun Friday. We know it's Fantastic Friday. We know it's Football Friday. We also know that football season is in full swing. It is crazy. We also know that driving to Utes games is crazy business, busy traffic. So please drive with patience and be alert to other drivers. If it's a big if, but if it does happen, if you're injured in an auto accident, the advocates have your back. They're available 24/7, 365. Advocates award-winning injury attorneys simply win. If another's driver's negligence leaves you injured with medical bills that you can't pay, you need to call the injury attorneys at the advocates. No cost consultations, You'll never pay a dime out of pocket while the advocates work on recovering the compensation you deserve. They also handle motorcycle accidents, even if you're injured jogging. I know I've been injured jogging, and it's quite an experience, along with dog bites. Yeah, so please drive with extra caution when dropping the kids off at school. Ute fans, you didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate. All right. So I asked this question. What would you rather watch? A game with awesome defense, a game with explosive offense, low scoring, high scoring. What do you want to see as a sports fan? And I'm trying to think of, like people ask me this all the time. So who's your favorite team? And I'm like, I don't have a favorite team. And they go, well, what about the teams you played for? And it's like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. I mean, most of here's the thing why it's so different. Most of the teams that I played for, I would say almost all of them, none of the people are there when I was there. Like Coach Shula, rest his soul, is not here anymore. So the organizations had 2 or 3 different owners. The support people are not there, and it's pretty much the same with every organization. And I'm not sure I want to cheer for the Miami Dolphins right now. Like, really? I guess I want to cheer for them to actually please get better, because it was such an incredible experience to play there. I can't even. I could write an entire book on the time that I spent with the Miami Dolphins. Unbelievable. And then Detroit, like I actually, if of all the teams I used to play for, I cheer for Detroit the most, which is hard for me to actually believe I say this, because it's a very love-hate relationship there. But I just know how bad they want to win. Like I really, in fact, Detroit is one of the teams I picked to go to the Super Bowl this year. Chargers and Detroit, those are my teams. And so I don't know that I have a team per se, but for me, it's always about watching great quarterbacks. Like that's what I want. That like so, like I like watching Matthew Stafford. I like watching Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. So I find myself not necessarily cheering for their teams, but I'm not cheering against their teams. I think Matthew Stafford might be one of the top talents ever to play in the NFL. Like he's like I don't think people give him enough credit. He's amazingly talented. Amazingly talented. And I've liked Aaron Rodgers in the past, and now it's like, nah, I don't know. Eh, eh. Joe Burrows, when he's healthy, if he ever stays healthy, he's just so for me, it's more about I like to watch like masters uh perform to perfection. And you see some guys playing at really high levels. Uh but I also saw perfection, and I didn't I kind of realized it when I was there, but I really appreciated it when they went to a Super Bowl. So very few times I think in the NFL a defense has actually won Super Bowls for teams. The 99 Baltimore Ravens, or I guess they were the 2000 Ravens. Unbelievable. Like and these guys were amazing. It was the perfectly built defense in my opinion. How they put the, basically huge human beings, 400 pounders in the middle. So you couldn't run in the middle. And they put fast guys on the edge. They had like it was just a beautifully built defense. And I marveled, and yet I was extremely frustrated that because you had to practice against them every day. And it was just annoying. Like they never gave you anything ever, even like in a walkthrough. Like a walkthrough is like when you're in flip-flops and you have your hat on backwards, they still would not give you an inch in a walkthrough where they just it's like it's okay. You just let the guy go or let the guy catch the ball or it's like no, no, no. Only time I ever saw it in my career. And there was a part of me that I hated great defenses, but or I hated that trying to, get our offense going and it was hard. But I really, really appreciated a great defense. Now, if I'm being completely candid, I hate watching and hated watching teams when I came back to Utah and watched BYU and Utah. Hated it. And I hated it because there was no offense and it was very unimaginative and it was boring. I mean, when I was at Utah, man, we would just light it up and it was fun. Now our defense hated us. Like there was real animosity. I'm not kidding about this. We did not get along. Offense and defense are because our defense was not very good. We were the number one offense in the country in college football when I was at Utah, and we were the last place defense statistically in the country. And it was like that's why just so you know, that's why I got all these yards when I was in college because we had to get them. We had to keep scoring. It was just you basically had to outscore the other team. And our defense actually would get mad at us and they said, "You guys scored too fast. Now we got to go back on the field and we're still tired." And it's like, I'm so sorry. I will tone it down. I'll try to throw the ball with my offhand this next drive or something. I don't know. And so there was and I remember being in college going, man, if we just had some defense. If we just had some defense. Now Texas Tech it kind of felt the same way. And they said, we are the worst defense in the country and we're so explosive offensively. If we could ever get a defense, and Texas Tech kind of got a defense. And it's kind of turned things around there. And they paid for them. But if I'm on a team and if I'm a fan, I don't think I care. If our defense can get us to a champ. So for me, it's about if I'm a fan, right? If I want to watch, like if it's my team, I don't care. I don't care if we win ugly 14-17, 10-7, 21-17, if it's a barn burner, and we win, I'm okay with that. If I'm a fan and I just want to watch football, I want to watch explosive football. Now, here's the other thing that I maybe I'm trying to ask too much. I don't like the rules of football today. I grew up in an era where like it was a real roughing the passer when it was roughing the passer. And it was not this 7-on-7 you had to earn everything you got kind of thing. And so I really so I want to see explosive football. And so that's part of the answer is they lightened up the rules so we could see more explosive football. But they're supposedly protecting the players, and I don't know. I just don't know how you protect the players. The only way I think you do it is you just don't play the game. I mean, it's a physical game. It's actually going to happen, and I don't know. I just think it's a very tough thing. So, I guess I want my cake and eat it too. That's my solution for. Do I want to see offensive football or do I want to see defensive football? I guess it just depends on the mood I'm in, on the hat that I'm wearing. I don't know. See. I'd be interested to see what y'all think. Anyone? All right. Hey, I got to tell you, speaking of winning, I have some amazing friends and they literally have changed my life. I'm not joking. And it's kind of funny because I can see anything now, like close or far. And it's like it's clear. Like I look at my computer and I can read it. I look at my phone and I can read it. I look outside a distance and it's all because of the folks at Weight Vision. They're incredible. They're right off the freeway in Thanksgiving Point, the UCCU building. Dr. Wade, fellowship board certified in refractive lens correction surgery, which is what I had. It was a 15-minute procedure. It was pretty wild. They took out my old lens. They put in a new one. I was awake for the procedure, and it just changed it. And it was minimally invasive. It did not hurt. And the downtime was very minimal. But boy, has it made a difference. And I just remember thinking I should have done this so much sooner. So if you have any vision issues, go check them out. They are incredible. They'll do a full workup and they'll get the right solution for you. And it will change your life. Waitevision.com, WAITE vision.com.
Keep
Well, that's
talking,
all
you
we
have
have time
45
for
left.
today. That's all we have time for today.
Keep talking. 90 seconds left.
So I'm gonna wrap her up here for the day. Anyways, I hope you all have a tremendous weekend. Of course, Texas Tech and BYU game day. That's gonna tell us a lot next week where we go. We're gonna get another college football playoff poll, see if the Utes go in or out. I think they're gonna go higher. We'll know. Anyways, so I hope you enjoy your weekend, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Scott Mitchell. This has been the Down and Dirty. I guess the guy Sean O'Connell. That show is next, of course, here on ESPN 792.1 FM. Until then, we'll see you then.
I'll connect with you in the other studio. I said I'll connect with you in the other studio. All right.